hardly last you for more than 1 week. If you live at the level of the middle class, cannot last you for 1 day. So I don't know why people do it. But to be honest, to be fair to the governor, whatever happened, it was destined, almost destined to win that election because of the popular support that they had.
Yes, and sir, people would say about Oyèbánjí that he's a governor that had performed or is performing, and so the people coming behind him to endorse him for the second term would be just rightly said. And of course, we talked about former governors who had also rallied around him. But I'm looking at something, sir, and with Ekiti State and APC State, is this what could tell about governorship elections in other states with APC taking about 30 governors on its side? Could this also tell about what could happen in other states?
Yes, well, in Nigerian politics, I think you can predict that it is going to be difficult for a governor to be dislodged. And particularly when you are now talking about money, I don't know any candidate can outmatch a sitting governor. A sitting governor has a security vote. These days, we don't even know how much they put into it. Some of them want. So a governor has a war chest that is going to be difficult to match by anybody who is not in government. So you can put a bet on it that this will be the pattern in every state. Yeah, look at it. Nigeria is a very unusual country in terms of elections. People claim that if really it is true that the APC, the Tinubu government is blamed for suffering and the food prices that are high for unemployment. Such a party should not be voted into power. You see what is happening in the United States this morning. Trump is running at 30% approval rate, which is one of the lowest in American history, because of his performance in governance. So on the basis of that, they are already predicting that the Democrats will win the election in November. So that is the way you can predict. That's how polling is done. People's reaction. But there's no such thing. There's a contradictory reaction. People say they're hungry, it is government that's responsible, then they go on canvas to vote for that government. That's because the issues are not important. It's the ability to mobilize that is important. The ability to bribe that is important in Nigerian politics. Sentiments and so on. It doesn't matter whether the man is not doing well, but if he's from your area, if he has the money to spend, and if he is able to make as much noise as possible, there's no correlation between performance and election outcomes. Because that is where it's done. Look at Kama in Britain has resigned because of some mocking decision making that he made. And because the Labour Party, as a result of his decision, lost the local government elections in many places. So there's a correlation between performance and election results, but not in Nigeria. So you can now bet yourself that governors are already mobilizing. Don't forget that governors control local governments. Local governments control the world. There's a lot of money in the local government. Even if it's being held by the governor, it will be released during the election and it will be appropriately distributed. The governors have an advantage. That's not to say that in all cases they will win, but they have a massive advantage in terms of mobilizing for elections because of the resources available to them and the control of the machinery of governance. The control of the machinery of government from states to local government to even world level, the control of chieftaincies, of the traditional rulers and so on. So there's a network that is connecting the governors to the grassroots that gives him an advantage which an outsider does not have. An outsider, for example, cannot summon a traditional ruler, an Oba or an Emir or an Obi to come and see him. The governor, for political reasons, can summon a meeting of all the Obas in his town, all the Emirs in his state, and try to persuade them to be on his side. And I bet you none of them will make a hand to say, no, we won't support you. They all say we will support you as the governor. At the end of the day, package is small, Ghana must go for everybody to take away. In the first place, are not, if somebody is not in government cannot arrange that meeting. Nobody will go there because they will be afraid that if they go, they will be sanctioned by the government. They can even be suspended from their role, from their stool. And so you have governor, state funds, you have local government funds that can be used to penetrate the grassroots. So there's an advantage. We must not run away from this. Because election is about mobilization. You mobilize people to go and vote. Mobilizing them might mean just putting them in buses and giving them bread and kose. Mobilizing them means you can give them money as well, which is what they do generally.
Yes, this peculiarity of Nigeria with what happens in other parts of the world, I still like to stay with this. People say that elections in Nigeria, as you are saying, are won on election days, because on election days, that's when the money exchanges hands. This is when the polling agents are all, around. The APC has that advantage that it can monitor all the elections all over. And so, this thing about democracy, about the people, for the people, and by the people, we begin to wonder here, where are the people? Where are they? And so, is it just a muscle that will convince the people that all is well with Nigeria, with all this hardship that you have mentioned too?
Well, let me say that elections are not won on election day. Let us not have that impression, because just because people's money changes, people are already working. The kind of work that goes into preparing for an election.
We saw on the Ekiti election that money changed hands.
But you see, quite honestly, if you look at it, the number of people that are giving money compared to the entire voting population. So nobody is going to give me money. Middle class people don't take money generally. Money is for the very poor, although they are the majority. But what you find is that election is not just on the day. You can't say, okay, I'm going to wait on the election day and buy people. No, you have to mobilize them. People will bring. In fact, for people to leave their houses, you have to have agents. You have to canvassers and so on, who are going around and telling them, go and vote for go and vote to, and so on. So it's more than that. The election day is important, but it's not vital. What is most important is to mobilize people to come out to vote for you. That is a disadvantage that the ordinary person does not have if you are not somebody that is not in government, because the resources to get people out to vote can be challenging for those who are not in government. And that's why those in government ultimately have more than 90% chance of winning or being returned because of the resources available to them. But it's not that on election that I've told you. Toyin, for example, has been working on his predecessors. And all of them came together to support him. And you can imagine the enormous support that each governor brings, about 4 or 5 former governors working with the incumbent. Ordinarily, in many places, those governors, former governors, will be working as cross-supporting, one supporting A, the other one supporting Z, and depleting each other's support base. But Oyebanje was able to coalesce all those governors. That's a lot of work. That's work that has been going on long before the election day. And those people now go back and tell their supporters, this is where we are going. So he already had a massive advantage in terms of leadership support for him. So it is not just an election. On elections, of course, if you want to, it's like somebody told me that in Lagos, and I've seen it firsthand, election day PDP will start trying to share money or share cows and run it to commissioners of police, ESS, to try to get them to be favorable. But the people on the other side, they've been sending people to Mecca. They've been sending people to Jerusalem. They've been sponsoring businesses. They've been helping to set up cooperatives. So it's not the election day that we are going to persuade them. So, I was when a mobile policeman that was attached to all a political business, that in their barrack, almost 50 people have gone to Mecca in Lagos through government agencies. So those kind of people then, on election day, you go and bring 50,000, 10,000 to mobile police, and you think you are going to persuade them. You are wasting your time, because it's already this gratification that several times in excess of whatever you give on election day. So So that's why like in Lagos, the government has all kinds of network of mobilization that is currently running. Some places they are eating every Friday, going there to just eat. And so by the time the election comes, they are already mobilized to move one way. So it's more than just sharing money.
Okay, sir. And about Ekiti State, I still want to stay with Ekiti State. One of the things we noticed was that there was low turnout. Apathy was there. And then another thing that we noticed with the APC, it had those, like you've said, now its ambassadors were all over the place, and of course, all the people giving their support to Oyebanji. And so I'm looking at other states too. We have the APC with all of these, ambassadors all over the place, and people working for government and all they've received from government. And so I'm looking at the ADC. It came a distant third. What does that tell, again, about the ADC in the state's elections and, of course, when we come to the national?
It's not really, to be honest with you. What it does is that it shows you that APC is not red. ADC. Some of this, and of course, PDP is fragmented. People are not going to go, which PDP are you voting for? Is it Wike's PDP or Turaki's PDP? So you have the opposition has existential, they have fundamental, what might call genetic problem. So they need to resolve that, and hopefully they will resolve it before next year. We still have 6 months in the year to sort out many things. ADC is still not a name that anybody recognizes. The tragedy of the ADC, particularly, which it was trying to address, is that I've said it in one interview. It has no leg in the South. It has no prominent. ADC has no prominent politician in the South. They are all third rate. Look at this vice presidential candidate Amechi. Amechi could not win primaries in more than 2 states. So if you are a Southern candidate contesting against the Northern candidate, the expectation is that you will sweep the South and then contest for the middle belt and all that. Amechi could only win in maybe Rivers and Bayelsa. No penetration in the Southeast. None in the other parts of the South. And that is the only, because of the previous position that can say a name that you can recognize. The other person is Aregbe Shola, who is a lightweight politically. So if you don't have a heavyweight in a state that can be the center of your campaign and mobilization, how do you win an election? So Atiku has that problem right now. ADC has no leg in the South, and they must work on it. And to have a leg in the South, you must find people who even have resources to sponsor this party. So who's going to sponsor a party? To be a gubernatorial candidate, they're telling you are needing 5 to 10 billion. So if you are going to be involved in the presidential race, you are talking billions, because you are going to, apart from campaign material, you are going to need people on election days who are agents and all kinds of canvassers. It's a massive enterprise. You have to have secretariats in 36 states where you have to mobilize people to go on election day. People expect you to give them money. And so how do you get that if you don't have any prominent people behind you? You have somebody like Dele Momodu. He has never won a award. I'm not even sure he has won the polling unit. So how can you say that you have support in the South? No. So that is an ADC problem. The PDP problem is the fragmentation, the fact that they are still operating as 2 factions of the same party. Nobody knows. They try to get Jonathan to come and be presidential candidate. Jonathan, of course, would have ridiculed himself if he had attempted it. Because which faction of the PDP is he going to go with? If he accepts the presidential candidacy of the Turaki faction and INEC recognizes Wike's faction, where will he put his face as a former president? So it was very wise of him to ignore the so-called unanimous conferment of candidacy on him. So the 2 parties that contested with Oyebanji were in a very weak situation, ADC is still trying to put his foot on the ground. It doesn't have any. In the South, it is unfortunate right now that it's not doing too well.
Okay, sir. Signals that I should go for a commercial break. I'll be back with you, sir, at the turn of the break.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Are you serious? For real, are you serious?
Invicta FM.
Ya ku masu ciniki, albishirinku gasar Magi Chicken Flavor ya sake dawowa.
A sayi Magi Chicken mai dunkule biyu kwaya 50 a samu garabasar guda 10 a kyauta.
Tabbas haka ne, idan kuma guda 10 aka saya, to za a samu garabasar guda 4 a kyauta.
Wato ƙarin ɗanɗano mai armashi, ƙarin nishaɗi, tare da more kuɗinka yadda ya kamata.
A hanzarta maza a je shago mafi kusa domin sayan paketin kunshin gasar Magi Chicken Flavor kafin ya ƙare. Gasar na nan har sai kayan sun ƙare. Da ni da Magi, haɗuwa mai armashi.
E get why we dey plan and pray for our children every day.
E get why.
E get why we dey get up to go hustle every day.
E get why.
And e get why Nigerians trust M and B paracetamol, the red one, every day.
E get why.
E dey show pain red card kia, so we fit to face life without pains. Therefore, next time pain show him wawa face, knock am with M and B paracetamol, the red one.
E get why.
M and B paracetamol, the red one na for you and your family, and the clear pain, small cold and fever, one hand. If your symptoms no clear after 2 days, go see doctor. A and B paracetamol go give you quick relief one time.
Lokacin jin daɗi sai Kivo Krima.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shan dari. Kivo.
OneXBet, where sports come alive. Join the game on promo on the site or app. Win an iPhone 16 and cash prizes up to 750,000 naira. Enter promo code Nigeria on and boost your game. OneXBet, game on, together in the game. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. T's and C's apply.
Hey, everybody come outside, oh! It don't happen. Hey,
Cletus, why you dey shout like this?
Go TV don't bust my head, oh! You never hear say decoder plus antenna plus 1 month jolly subscription. Now only 15,000 naira.
You say?
Go TV don't scatter market with their World Cup special offer, oh! Hey. With only 15,000 naira, we go carry cha-cha decoder plus antenna plus 1 month subscription. Take torchlight the whole 104 matches for this FIFA World Cup 2026 with correct pidgin commentary. All this go happen live for 4 correct channels for Super Sport on Top Go TV.
Hey, this one not be smart, you know. Make I go arrange my own decoder sharp.
Go TV. Love it.
Invicta FM.
Ina kwana Onion Banana Connect.
Hello 7790. Yawwa, kawata ta ce allura za ta tafi har kwakwalwata. Shin ga hakan gaskiya ne?
Honey and Banana Connect.
To ina kasuwa. Sai yar uwar matar makwabcina ta ce matar da ke amfani da maganin tazaran haihuwa mazajensu za su daina son su.
Honey and Banana Connect.
Ni ce kuma goggota ta ce idan na bayar da tazaran haihuwa tsakanin yarana mutane za su yi tunani akwai wata matsala a aure na. Shin gaskiya ne? Honey and Banana Connect na nan don duka tambayoyinku. Kira 7790 a kowane lokaci don tattauna da kwararun kan tazaran haihuwa da lafiyar jami'i. Kyauta ne a asirci kuma babu tsangwama. Kira 7790 ko turo sakon WhatsApp ta 09097133400 a yau.
Honey and Banana Connect ku bi wanda ya san hanya.
Mama, sai kin ganyen da na wanke ban ɗakin nan yawon ku sosai fa.
Tabbas zai iya wankuwa sosai a ido, amma idan ba da hypo toilet cleaner kika yi amfani ba wajen kariya, to ban ɗaki cike yake da ƙwayoyin cuta baja-baja.
Haka ne, kara ku yarje wa ƙwayoyin cuta, ku kare ban ɗakin ku kullum da hypo toilet cleaner.
Jolly Johnny akan titi ke magana. A yau za mu ga kyakkyawar sani da mutane suka yi wa magi cikin flavor. Na gaba karanto harufan celery.
S-E-A-L-A-R-R-I-E celery.
Haba mutumina, ka ce kawai ka sauya harufan zuwa salary. To ga damar karshe karanto mana harufan turmeric.
T-U-R-M-E-R-I-C. Turmeric.
Kin yi daidai ga kwali ɗaya na magi cikin flavor ki ɗauka.
Magi cikin flavor tare da albasa, celery da kuma turmeric mai canza wasa na.
Ai wasu mutanen ba san dalilin da yasa data suke karewa ba, amma bari ne muku bayani. Kun san idan mai waya na bacci wayan na yin wasu abubuwa da bai sani ba, idan har hakan ya faru?
Okay.
A wannan sa'in waya ke adana bayanai a cloud backup a sa'in da bacin ke ƙara nisa. Sai ta ci gaba da sabunta manhajojin da ke kanta ko da ba a amfani da ita. Haba mai gida ai ka san dole in san abin da ke faruwa a intanet.
A sha datar da na sanya ta ƙare.
Jas, ba na gaya muku ba?
Ka kula kada wayarka ta kwashe maka data da auto update. Ka rufe manhajojin da baka aiki da su. Ka rufe tabs ɗin da baka amfani da su a duk lokacin da datar ka take a kunne.
A'a, me ya zafi? Ni fa bayani ne kawai nawa. Ka kula da datar ka don kar waya ta cinye.
More datar ka kuma leave it 100.
This award goes to the most punctual student of the entire school. And the winner is Lisa Solomon.
Something is telling me that she makes her daughter skip breakfast just to be here.
You people could have just asked.
I would have been happy to tell you my secret.
Enjoy instant goodness with John Vent's 3-in-1 chocolate. The quickest start to your morning.
Invicta FM.
Welcome back. Still with the program Perspectives this morning on Invicta 98.9. And my guest, Professor FEMI OTUNBANJO, a professor of political science, a public affairs analyst, putting his thoughts on some developing stories in Nigeria. We talked about the Kitty elections, the outcome of it, and of course, what that may tell about, elections that we will have in the states. And of course, looked at some challenges and concerns about our elections. Professor Femi OTUNBANJO resides in Lagos, so it's a long-distance call that we're making into Lagos to get him on the program. Well, Prof, again, another area of concern for us this morning is what, the opposition has been hammering around, and that's about the ruling party planting moves in all the other opposition parties, not making it get itself together. And some public analysts will see it that would they want the ruling party to just sit, watch them come, and change the status quo and all of that? That the opposition is not facing, not giving the people what they'd like to hear about what they want to do, how they want to get Nigeria out of the woods. That they're basically concerned about what the president is not doing right, and of course, picking on why he had to travel here, why he was not in Benue State, why he was, and so the concerns of the APC, the opposition are not taking serious concerns on or not touching on for Nigerians to really want to appreciate them.
Why can I say the focus of the opposition now is to survive. Actually, they are too weak to be called opposition right now. Some of them are in court. The only opposition that is still standing that has no problem is NDC, which has been given national prominence because Obi and Kwankwaso joined it. But they still have to find their feet. The reality of politics is that government will make decisions, the opposition will oppose it. It is the business of opposition. It's a perennial dialectic, all you call it, a contradiction that you continue to have. Somebody says, the government says A, the opposition will say B, and so on. Well, if the situation reverses tomorrow and the people APC or NDC gets into government, you will discover that the conversation will be the same. The government, ADC or whatever NDC will say one thing, and the other side will say the other. The reality is that governance is a very complex project. It is not easy. It is easier for people from outside to begin to criticize governance. But what goes into governance is so complex that it is not as if somebody sits down in his bedroom and takes his decision. There are so many factors. So, don't try to say that governments do not make mistakes. They do make mistakes with the opposition that point out. The problem we have in Nigeria, one, is that, you know, the Yorubas have this, that if there's no opening in a wall, a lizard will not crawl in. It is the opposition themselves that are creating the opportunities for them to be manipulated. They are blaming the ruling party, they do this, and so on. But if you have not put your house in order, if you have not followed your own constitution, and people, you are suing yourselves, and then you now blame the government. You blame INEC for obeying the law, and so on. So I think the oppositions have to put their houses in order. You know, and unfortunately, the ADC in particular is a party that has no particular focus except to promote Atiku's presidential ambition and take over power. No. And there's nothing that what is it that they have about security that they can resolve the security problem in Nigeria? What is it that they have about poverty in Nigeria? What is it that they have about infrastructure in Nigeria? Let's bring out their blueprint. Let them have a superior program that the people can compare with what government is doing. The government, today may not be perfect, but it has rescued the economy from collapse. That rescue has not translated into into a good life for everybody. It takes time for things to move down. And the economy has to be stabilized. It has to be rescued and so on. So, Atiku, Obi, what do you have to do for us that will translate, that will move forward from Tinubu to bring prosperity to the people? Tell us. How do you deal with bandits and so on? They are not doing that. It's about this government is not doing well. This government must be against Nigerian people. That is opportunism. Because we all know what this government inherited. Buhari was a disaster for Nigeria. You know, if you allow for we will be able to say it, because Tinubu will not be able to say it, because you'll be afraid that Buhari is a court figure in the north and it can be used to rally against him. But the reality, a man who went and printed billions for waste and means, ran down our foreign reserve, got us into 90% debt services of our budget. I mean, that was a disastrous government for 8 years. That's what we had. Somebody comes and tries to repair things, and things are looking up. International agencies, all the World Bank, multilaterals, they are saying, well, it's doing well, but it's not translating to prosperity for the people yet. There's still much poverty in Nigeria. Yes. How do you move from that, Atiku Abubakar? What are you saying? This is not the time to be criticizing government. It is time to be offering alternatives. Because you are saying, like, imagine an Obi moving from one party to the other. That does not give a good image of him. It does not show that he's a better politician or better leader. Yeah, it does not show it. So, if you have not even established your own reputation as a man of discipline and dignity, how do you begin to talk about somebody in power? We know Atiku is paranoid. That is his desperation, his ambition. Next year will be 80, or if not already 80 this year. So he thinks that he has to be president before he dies. That's all. Not that he has anything to offer. Not that there's anything in his past to show that he's a better person. So we Nigerians just get sentimental and follow people, ADC, APC. These are the same politicians, the same group of people. They are the people who dug the hole in which we are. They are saying they will fill it, but they are going to continue to dig it because they have not told us what they are going to do differently. So let nobody blame the APC for their problems. Let them go and stop their problems themselves. Bring out blueprint that could persuade us that they are going to be better. As far as they have, all the personalities, you have a David Mark, you have an Emechi, this is part of the people who have ruined Nigeria. So how do you come to tell us that you can rescue Nigeria? How can you? You know, I was just reading now UK poking fun at David Mark. David Mark takes a helicopter from Abuja to Oturupo. He does not even travel the road. Does he know what the road looks like? He's afraid of bandits and terrorists. And then the person wants to run. The same man who told us that telephone is not for the poor is the man who said that he has an authority. What authority? That's just a struggle for power. That's what they are doing. Take power in Atorok and begin to share things around. We don't have a better alternative right now. I can tell you we don't have a better alternative path. None. Because they have not shown their alternative, they have not given us their alternative blueprints.
Yes, and we, I'll take on this another developing story that we have now. It's all over the place. Nigerians have accepted it, and we're, glad that this has come to be. State police, and of course, what again that would do on the security architecture of the country. That the governors of the state now would now have control over security of the state. They appoint their commissioners, and of course, the members, or those that will fit into the police force. So we'll have a state and police and federal force as it is. What would make the difference? What difference are we expecting now that state, police has now come to be?
Well, I imagine that the difference is that the governors will have some powers of deployment. They have control over the bureaucracy of their state police, the commissioners, the whatever they call them, whether they will have their own inspector generals and so on. But the state police, the state can be at the beck and call of the governor. The governor is the chief security of the state according to the constitution, but he does not have the apparatus to be. He has to gather federal agencies. When you go to what we call security meeting of the State Security Council, you are going to find the army there, which is federal. You are going to find the police, which is federal, the Air Force federal, the Navy, all of them are federal agencies. And the governor cannot give them, where they are seated at that meeting, cannot give them any instruction to go at Wednesday. If they have to first clear with their commander in Abuja. So if there's a problem, an emergency, the governor will be at the mercy of federal agencies. Now, primarily, one of the major functions of the government is to provide security of lives and property of the people. That is number one. To make, if we do not have security, if our lives are not protected, we cannot prosper. All the prosperity that we gather will be on a daily basis because we don't know when a bandit will come around and pick us or a kidnapper and so on. So we need the most important thing is to have security. That's why when people build houses in Nigeria, they put fences around their houses, they put security iron on their whatever on their windows and doors and so on. Because there's no point if you have a mansion and it's unprotected and somebody can walk in and take all the things that you put there. So your wealth will be meaningless. It will be unpredictable because every day you are not sure that you will be alive. So security is so important that governors ought to have access, instant access to say, pick up their phone and call the police commissioner. There's a problem in somewhere in Oyo State or Kaduna State. Send your boss there, and so on. It doesn't. The commissioner does not have to wait for control of the Inspector General in Abuja, which is what they are doing. The governor of Akwa Ibom, Monday last week, was complaining that they've got people, they arrested some people in the state with AK-47. And they've got instruction from the Inspector General of Police to release them. If those people had been arrested by the state police, they would have proceeded to process them. They would have processed them for prosecution and so on. So it is that kind of scenario that makes state police compelling. But of course, it is also a natural outflow of federalism. If you're a federal system, you can't centralize everything. It can't be partial decentralization. For example, every state has a high court system. The High Court of Lagos, the High Court of Oyo State, and so on. That's because of decentralized criminal administration system. It is the same thing with police. The only thing that you don't decentralize around the world is the military, the army, the Air Force, because they protect their national institution. But if you go to federal system like India, go to America, or even Germany, you are going to find local police, state police. Even Britain, which is a unitary system, it's not a federal system, they have their county police forces. It is Scotland Yard is like the federal system police that looks after interstate crimes that cover like criminal 419, scamming, corruption cases. That is a case that is federal. That's what you have the FBI in America doing. But every state in America has its own police that deals with criminal from traffic laws to petty criminal things, local robberies, local fraud, and so on. They do it. So it's federalism. There's no reason why we should have one inspector general controlling the police in 36 states. It's just ridiculous. And the commissioner there is not even under the governor. He can defy the governor. He can reject whatever. And of course, you know that political parties they have their way of manipulating. During elections, the inspector general, in collusion with the government, will send. If you are an opposition party, you can send a police commissioner there that will make sure that the election is rigged against you. Can send people there, and it's been done several times. You just change commissioners of police a day or two or 24 hours to the election. And you find that the person you have been working with is not the one that will run the elections in your state. And he has the power to send security people who will be onlookers, who will do nothing when the rigging is going on against you. You cannot have that. There's no doubt that when we start, it's not be perfect. Governors will try to abuse it. You know, because that's the nature of power. Power is it expands. People want to have power, you want to have more and more. It's almost a natural element of power. So when the state police things are created, we can expect the governors to try to use those forces to try to expand their control. But gradually, through legal, constitutional, administrative, bureaucratic processes, we'll get it right. We are not going to have a perfect state police system in the first year or so, but we'll get it right.
So I'm also looking at this local governments. That the local government, we have ungoverned spaces in Nigeria, and so with the state police, we're looking forward to job creation. We're also looking at the people at the local government level, have their all that will take care of this. So people are looking at improvement in the security of the states and the nation at large.
Yes, that is the expectation.
Okay.
The expectation in which you said the word ungoverned spaces. That is the characteristic of Nigeria. Most places are ungoverned. Most places. Even in the city of Lagos, you hardly see policemen in your neighborhood. Whereas if you go to places like Britain, the United States, there are policemen either in cars or on their foot going around making sure that there's police presence. So we hope that the state police will give police presence to our rural, our rural communities. If you go to a major, Yoruba land is so urbanized. If you go to some places, the towns are 1 or 2 miles from each other and so on. And yet you will not find policemen anywhere. You have one police station with about 4 or 5 people managing a whole local government. So we are hoping that state policing will democratize policing, that is, expand it to more areas, to those ungoverned states. So places like places in the north, which bandits have freedom to operate because there is no governance there. So maybe it's part of our expansion of governance to every part of Nigeria, to the nook and crannies of Nigeria. And as you said, hopefully it will also create jobs for able-bodied young men who are currently jobless. So I guess that is going to be a win-win situation with the state police.
And people are having these concerns about, this time that the state police, is coming up, that's close to election times and all of, and again, strategically done by the ruling party because, again, the state governors may have, at the beginning of it, control, over, their police. And so, now this was also done at a time like this when the ruling party is wants to coast home to victory, so to say. Now, is it strategic for the ruling party at this time, too?
Yeah, well, look, let us not deceive ourselves. Things will not be perfect at the beginning.
Okay.
I've talked about the tendency to use power and to expand power. Now, let us expect that things will not be perfect at the beginning. But you see, the great thing about the world today, and we see it, is that we have something called the social media. Apart from the regular media like yours, the social media has become almost the fifth element of governance, because people are present. They are seeing what you are doing. There's millions of observers. In the past, we didn't have social media. The internet changed the nature of governance. So it is therefore likely that any infractions, any abuses will be constantly reported. Governors will be bombarded with reports of their negative actions, of the wrong use of the police. And with time, a public opinion will form that will push people to do the right thing. What we are paying for is for that body, that mass of opinion. We don't have it in Nigeria, but the social media is helping us to create it. And governors, of course, know they have to be careful. But social media can create stories about you that you'll be shaking your pants as a governor. You can create stories about you. So it is your own interest to behave yourself. You see policemen whose pictures are taking videos on the road, and you see how desperate they are to make sure their pictures are not taken. So we are hoping that the governors will make mistakes. They will try to abuse the system. After all, people say power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So we should expect that the state police will be part of that corruption of power. But the people also must be ready to resist it. The system will resist it. With time, we will continue to build the state police that we want.
Okay, so we're going to another commercial break. We'll be back with you shortly, sir.
Okay.
Invicta FM.
Lokacin jin daɗi sai Kivo Krima.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shan dari sai Kivo.
Hey, attention. Balasa Retirement Center don't open oh. Come buy better phone for just 65,000. You fit finally open WhatsApp, enter Facebook, they snap better picture. Drop that your old phone wey no dey show video because this life, it don't move online. You suppose follow and go the next level. Now your turn. Get Ogbonge phone from 65,000 naira with the new MTN Smart Series. It get up to 30 gig free data plus 50% bonus on calls and data join. Get free insurance and free case on top. Hey, waiting you dey wait for? Waka go any MTN store where they near you or visit shop.mtn.ng. Go collect your own today. Terms and conditions dey sha o.
Zainab, ke da Alhaji duk sanda na waiwaya ina ganin ku tare ba a raba ku.
Me zan ce? Ba ma gajiya da juna.
To yaushe muke sa rana na uku. ce abu game da na uku. Amma ni da Alhaji mun amince cewa jikina na bukatar lokaci. Shi yasa ina da 7790. 7790? 7790 daga Honey and Banana Connect. Ita ce amintaciyar hanyar samu bayananniyar shawara ba tare da tsangwama ba akan duk abin da ya shafi tazaran haihuwa. Ku tattauna da ƙwararrun ma'aikata don samun jagoranci game da bayar da tazaran haihuwa. Tafiyar ki ce, jikinki ne duk lokacin da kika zaba. Kira 7790 a yau ko ku aiko mana da sakon WhatsApp a 09097133400. Honey and Banana Connect. Ku bi wanda ya san hanya.
Ya ku masu ciniki, albishirinku gasar Magi Chicken Flavor ya sake dawowa.
A sayi Magi Chicken mai dunkule biyu kwaya 50 a samu garabasar guda 10 a kyauta.
Tabbas haka ne, idan kuma guda 10 aka saya, to za a samu garabasar guda 4 a kyauta.
Wato ƙarin ɗanɗano mai armashi, ƙarin nishaɗi, tare da more kuɗin ka yadda ya kamata.
A hanzarta maza a je shago mafi kusa domin sayan paketin kunshin gasar Magi Chicken Flavor kafin ya ƙare. Gasar na nan har sai kayan sun ƙare. Da ni da Magi, haɗuwa mai armashi.
Invicta FM.
Hello? Okay.
Still with the program Perspectives this morning, and another developing story that we have on ground here is the xenophobic attacks that we're getting. This is coming from South Africa on immigrants in that country, and particularly on Nigerians there. Concerns here, lives and property being destroyed, and of course, target is on Nigeria. And the Nigerians are talking here back home that can in any way, how can Nigeria deserve this from a country that it has helped from the apartheid days to what she is today, and get all of these. And so Nigerians are wondering, and of course, knowing what had happened, the Foreign Affairs Minister had been there to complain about this unfair treatment. And the South Africans are talking about illegitimate Nigerians in their soil. Why are they here? Why don't they stay back home? Go there and get their living and all of that. Some concerns that some would say appalling to the ears. But this is Africa. This is what we see happening. And of course, we do know that Donald Trump in America had come hard on immigrants. But the Americans would also say that immigrants also are part of those that made America today. So South Africans, and about the killings, particularly on Nigerians, and destroying their properties and all of that. Put your concerns for us here, sir.
Well, it's unfortunate that South Africans have engaged regularly in xenophobia, and the Nigerians have borne a great deal of the brunt. Of course, so also are other Africans, like the people from Mozambique, Zimbabwe, who have found opportunities in South Africa that do not exist in their countries. Well, basically, South Africa has its own problems in terms of the job situation. There are many jobless people. A lot of their black youths up to middle age almost unemployable. They don't have skills, the kind of skills. And without being detrimental to them, we do know that they have a tendency to live a licentious life and get drunk and so on. So what we have in South Africa today is just scapegoating, making scapegoats of foreigners. And it's very difficult. It's a very difficult state of mind to defeat. What people believe that foreigners are the source of their problems. That is the problem that the Jews have had throughout history. Jews have been persecuted. Any time there's a war and the people that the country is defeated or there is some economic depression, the Jews are blamed for it because they are the people who are doing the trading and doing the money exchanges and so on. Scapegoating often leads to persecution of foreigners. And unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it. It has become almost a national movement. And the problem is that the South African government did not react to it promptly. They did not react in terms of arresting and punishing those who are responsible for attacking foreigners, even killing foreigners, destroying their properties and their shops. Having said that, in the case of Nigeria, our people also have their own share of blames. What we hear is that Nigerians have been identified with drugs and prostitution. And only recently there was a provocation of Nigeria wanting to make him easy of some little towns in South Africa. So it's unfortunate. You know our country, our people are very boisterous. Whereas some of the most outspoken people on this earth, Nigerians are not cowards. Anywhere they go, they are ready to state their mind. They impose their own values and culture and so on. And that has not gone down well in South Africa. They complain that Nigerians take their women. I was watching a little video of an Uber driver arguing with South African woman. A South African woman defending Nigerians. The Nigerian men take care of them. They give them transport money. They give them money to do their hair. They buy them wigs. And the South African man was very hot, very angry. Because he says that the South African women look after themselves. He just think that life is about having fun with women and not taking care of women. So when you begin to feel inferior to some people, and they are taking your women, they are taking your business, they are the ones doing corner shops and all the things that you think that you can do, it's a problem. So I don't know how anybody. The only solution is for the government of South Africa to crack down on it. If they don't do it, I was reading only last week the Chief Justice issuing a statement that this attacking foreigners is a criminal offense. That is a statement for the elite. They are not addressing the problem. The people who are on the street, who are wielding sticks and weapons of all kinds, are not going to read those statements. All they can understand if you send out the police to stop them, arrest them, put them in jail, to prosecute a few of them, and make sure you tell them this is unacceptable in our country. But the South African government is complicit by not reacting appropriately to the problem. The people will always be sentimental. Once you get in a mob, once somebody starts something, you can see, when they arrest a thief, and before you know it, the crowd has gathered in Nigeria, before you know everybody is wanting to beat these stones and so on. That's how a mob behaves. And you are not going to stop a mob by grammar. You are going to stop a mob by force. And South African government has not done so. Our own people also have not done too well in South Africa, from what I hear. Particularly Nigerians, they have not done too well. If you go to a country and begin to be agents of prostitution and the drug trade, expect repercussions, expect anger. Particularly if you are making that money and using it to take their women. that's a big problem. So xenophobia is not something we can solve from here. It's something that can be solved only in South Africa by their government having a public education campaign and also criminalizing the attack on foreigners.
Okay, sir. We'll go for a news brief, sir, and then when we come back from taking the news brief, we'll bring the audience into this conversation, sir.
We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Are you serious? For real, are you serious? Invicta FM.
News. If stories need to be told, they should be told with precision, truth, and authority. Trust us to bring you unadulterated information on politics, economy, entertainment, sports, and all of life. From local to international news stories as they break. Invicta News at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., only on Invicta 98.9 FM. Be victorious with us. News.
Test 1 2 1 2 2. Hey, what's up? Hi.
We challenge you to think of anything better. Think of anything better. Invicta 98.9. good music.
Tell me while I do my money dance like, flexing on the gram like, yeah, you for there for me, you for there, when you boy they over.
Fantastic programming. Fantastic programming. Invicta FM the Sabua. Invicta FM the Sabua. Sheer brilliance, excellently combined. Best of both worlds. Invicta 98.9. Be victorious. Invicta 98.9. NASA.
This is Invicta News on 98.9 FM Kaduna, Nigeria. I am Moses Wisdom Tanko with the news brief. The federal government and development partners have stressed the need to sustain and integrate the gains from the $345 million Global Fund supported COVID-19 response mechanism, CRRM. C19RM investment into Nigeria's routine health system to strengthen preparedness for future public health emergencies. Nigeria achieved a 97% absorption rate of the grant, which supported critical areas such as medical oxygen supply, laboratory capacity, disease surveillance, emergency response systems, health workforce development, and supply chain improvement across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The C19RM grant was established as an emergency intervention to support the country's COVID-19 response, reduce mortality, and maintain essential health services, particularly HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria programs. It later evolved into a broader health system strengthening initiative. Former Osun State lawmaker Olatunbosun Oyintiloye has hailed the National Assembly for passing this establishment of state police. Oyintiloye, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress who spoke with reporters in Osogbo, described the development as a historic milestone in the nation's quest for a more effective, responsive, and community-oriented security architecture. He expressed delight that a cause he had championed for many years had finally become a reality under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The United Nations International Maritime Organization, IMO, has paused the planned evacuation of more than 11,000 sailors stranded in the Strait of Hormuz after a cargo ship passing through the waterway was attacked. IMO Chief Arsenio Dominguez said several boats had already been evacuated, but the agency wanted to ensure that necessary safety guarantees would continue to be in place. The British Maritime Security Agency, UKMTO, reported on Thursday that a ship had been struck 7.5 nautical miles southeast of Oman's port of Dahit by an unknown projectile. No casualties were reported. And now in the world of sport, Ecuador upset Germany to squeeze into the last 32 of the World Cup on Thursday, while the Netherlands, Japan and Ivory Coast advanced safely as the draw for the knockout rounds began to take shape. The Netherlands wrapped up their first round campaign with a 3-1 victory over Tunisia to top Group F, just ahead of Japan, who drew 1-1 with Sweden to finish in second place. Sweden also advanced as one of the best third-place finishers. The Dutch will now face 2022 World Cup semi-finalist Morocco in the last 32, while Japan will take on Group C Brazil for a place in the last 16. And that makes the news brief at 10. A major bulletin comes up at midday. Good morning and have a victorious day.
News. If stories need to be told, they should be told with precision, truth, and authority. Trust us to bring you unadulterated information on politics, economy, entertainment, sports, and all of life. From local to international news stories as they break. Invicta News at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., only on Invicta 98.9 FM. Be victorious with us. News.
Hello? Okay.
Welcome back. Still with the program Perspectives, and we're getting our lines opened now, bringing the audience to this conversation that we're having with the Professor FEMI OTUNBANJO this morning. And so we brought you some stories, developing stories as they were then, the Ekiti State election, and of course, Abiodun Ibanji emerging as winner. We also talked about the state police that has come to be now, and of course the xenophobic attacks in South Africa, particularly on Nigerians, and your thoughts on all of these is what we'll be taking now. We'll get our lines, open now. Numbers to call to be part of this conversation would be on 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87800 989, 070-87-800-989. We're streaming with this program live. Join us on our Facebook page, Invicta 98.9. Drop your comments there. We'll bring them all to our guest this morning. And we're taking this call now. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name, where you're calling from?
My name is Omar Achiba.
Omar Achiba. All right, let's hear you.
From Mary Road.
All right, let's hear you.
My contribution.
Yes.
And my question about these our people that South Africa is intimidating in their country. Did they forget when they have appetite problem, what Nigeria has done for them? Even though the president of today didn't know, at least he's supposed to hear history about what Nigeria has done to them to save them from a problem that time. I know how all our musicians, Nicola Bokuti, all our Majek, Free Lela, and so on, and all this that we think. We took money to save them. Why do you want to bite the finger that feed you? If they don't know this, hello?
I'm with you.
If they don't know the story, at least they have old people that supposed to tell them this is what Nigeria has done to us. They don't need to be maltreating us like that.
Okay.
It's very bad.
Okay. All right, how much, but we got you on that. Still with your calls. Still can take some calls here. All right. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes. Who?
William coming from Kaduna.
All right, Williams. Okay, let's hear you, Williams.
Yes, coming from Kaduna, yes.
Yes.
Actually, one thing I want to say is that we Nigerians, our government, especially our leaders, we don't love the citizens they govern. Why should Nigeria go to other countries if we have resources in this nation that take care of us? Why can't they put the resources in place so that we can develop this nation, so that our citizens will not be going out for greener pasture? We have all the things. The only thing is that we don't have leaders that love this country, that have Nigeria. I think if we can get leaders that will love this country and get the state that has, Nigeria will be a better place for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Williams. Okay, I'll squeeze in just one call too, and I'll get to our guest, Professor Femi OTUNBANJO. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Alabi.
Thank you. Your name, where you're calling from?
Hello?
Yes, your name, please. Your name.
Hello?
I'm with you. Your name. Your name.
Okay, my name is Mazi on Sabo.
All right, Mazi from Sabo. All right, let's hear you.
Yes, I want to remind everybody. Your guest this morning is talking about people not helping Tinubu. This one is saying that. We have not forgotten that Tinubu said he asked for this job. And he's doing it. Nobody, he doesn't want anybody to distract, anybody to give him, to help him. Why is it so? Your guest is saying that, Obi is saying that, Atiku is saying that, what they are applying to help Tinubu. It doesn't require help. This is democracy. They wouldn't say it's an idea to him. The issue is that if he cannot carry this people, this country alone, he do it on his towel and give chance. I want to remind us that all of us have been in this country. I have enjoyed 75 Christmas here on earth. I have seen so many. I'm in this place where people will carry foodstuff, rice and gari, yam. They will ask people or the people to buy from them because they have moved. They have been moving money. Nobody asked them, but today is no more. So I want us to remember one thing we should know. They will not tell their own ideas to him. He has said it and he has said it. The issue now is that let us be very careful. God is watching. God is seeing us. The guest is talking as if he's not a Nigerian. If he's talking like a party person, if he belongs to APC, if he wants to say something, let him say what people will understand. I want to decide, tell everybody to know this country for us, and nobody will come to spoil it for us.
All right. Yes.
There is one adage in my place. He said when it's happening, that we run into the bush. This that will litter every street everywhere. Human being will not have place to put leg.
All right.
My ear. Let my eye never see my ear. That is my take this morning.
All right, Mazi. Thank you on that. All right. Well, Prof. Hello.
Yeah, I'm afraid, Tony, you might have to repeat some of the questions to me.
Yes,
you have them.
Yes, I have them. The first caller that we had called in from that's Omar Aleba, called in to say that why is South Africa doing this to Nigeria? Have they forgotten history? Leader of theirs, Thabo Mbeki, was in Nigeria and all the help that he got. Apartheid time, all the support that the military, heads of states of Nigeria give to, South Africa, and of course all the singers, the Majek Fashek, the Fela Nikulako, and their songs in support, for apartheid to be taken out of South Africa. And today, if these people do not know this history, they still have elders to tell them about what Nigeria did. Why are they doing all of this to Nigeria in return? And of course, William also called in to say that, why do our people have to go to other countries if this country was that good? He blames leadership, that leadership had not done well for Nigerians, and so we did not have, or we do not have to go to other countries. Mazi called in to say that he's wondering why you are like a party man. You are like supporting Tinubu, and of course the choice is for Nigerians to make, and of course. Tinubu also said he did not deserve, or he did not want any Nigerian to pity him, that he asked for this job and he must get it done. So, why are you like putting your eggs behind Tinubu? That's what we have now for now.
Yeah, can you repeat that? Why am I like what?
That you are putting support. You are supporting Tinubu. Are you a party, an APC member? And that why is it that why must Peter Obi or Atiku give all their plans, and put it, for Tinubu to see? Yes.
So let me start from the bottom there.
Yes.
The point I've made, first and foremost, is that these people, in terms of their political history, Nigerian politicians are hardly better than one another. That's number one. Now, so the only way that can differentiate them is for them to tell us what they are capable of doing. I mean, if the Atiku has been vice president, Obi has been governor, and Nigeria is still where it is. The political class in Nigeria are the same corrupt set of people spending huge sums of money building castles that they cannot justify. So don't let us deceive ourselves to think that there are changes in Nigerian politics that are in the forefront of Nigerian politics. So if you have a level playing ground that all of them are parts of the same feather, now what differentiates them is going to be the color, what they can bring, the quality of what they can bring. That does not translate into support for Tinubu. It translates into asking objective questions. The objective question is still to be, for me, if you say Tinubu is not doing well, tell me what he should do better and what you can do better. It is not well until we take the seat, and then that's when we tell the world what we are going to do. No, that's fraudulent. That's the way I see it. If that makes me a Tinubu supporter, so be it. Somebody has to support somebody. So, I mean, I have my own. It's a freedom. It's a free society. I have the right to do my analysis in a way that suits my sentiment. But really, I don't just think that the other people, the other parties are prepared for governance. I don't believe that the personalities in the other parties are better than Tinubu. That's the point. So you have the right to disagree. That doesn't make me anything that you want to say. Okay. Why can Nigerians stay in their own country? That is the basic problem. That is the basic problem. Why should we be victims of xenophobia? Why should we be repatriated in hundreds? That's because Nigeria, over the time, the same kind of people, these are the people who drove Nigerians out of their country, who did not create the opportunities. Up to date, nobody is talking about our youths are all over the world doing many jobs. They are in Britain, they are in Europe. They are not living a good life. You know, they are going to work in come sun, come snow to survive, because anywhere else, people are in countries that you don't expect them to be. But they're only place other than Nigeria. I think the leadership that will address that is what we want, not reaction to xenophobia. We want people to come to our country. There was time Ghanaians were here, Togolese are here. Today in Nigeria, to get a good person to lay your families and do many things around the house, you go to Togo, you go to the Republic of Benin. You know, people used to come here to work, but Nigerians now are leaving. So we have governance that will rescue Nigerian economy such that it will be attractive to the young people. There will be jobs for everybody, and so on. Now, the person who talks about South Africa should be grateful. Yes, they should be grateful. But the reality, what you don't know, is that the Nigerian assistance to South Africa was not to the common person. It was an elite arrangement. When you talk about Tambo, Invicta and all that, these are the people, they are the leaders of the liberation movement. So when you send money to them, they don't necessarily tell their people they got the money. How many Nigerians today, how many ordinary Nigerians know that South Africa, Nigeria's assistance South Africa? We don't even know in our own country what we did to them. The people who know are the literate and middle class. So if there's any sentiment about South Africa, the ordinary people will go out and attack them. So the problem is that the people are ignorant of the assistance, and there's nothing to be grateful about. If people don't know what you did for them, why should they be grateful? The people who know about it are their leaders who are not telling them and who are not restraining them. So what should be happening in South Africa today is for the president to have a special committee to put up a very comprehensive campaign, telling them, look, these people that you are, Mozambique, Angola, these were part of the frontline state, and Nigeria, which is not even territorially a frontline, was regarded as a frontline state because of the enormity of our support. So Nigerians are our friends, our brothers. We should not be attacking them. There's a need for public education in that matter, and there's a need for prosecution of those who defy the law and attack foreigners. So if you don't have public education, people don't know what you did. There's Thabo Mbeki and Mandela, and those are the ones who know. And time has even lapsed. 1994 is when they got their independence. So we are talking about almost 30 years. Everybody has forgotten that.
Well, Professor Femi OTUNBANJO, we'd like to thank you so very much for coming on our program this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate it, sir.
Have a very good day. God bless you.
God bless you too, sir. Thank you very much. Well, that was Professor Femi OTUNBANJO, a professor of political science, a public affairs analyst, putting his thoughts on developing stories that we shared with you this morning, from the Ekiti election to, creation of state police as has come to be, and of course the xenophobic attack on Nigerians in South Africa. But just before we go, a little bit of it, just put forward this comment. It's coming from our Facebook page. We'll just take one of it and then we'll wrap on the program.
Okay, from our Facebook, we have quite a few here. This one said, God should just have mercy upon Nigeria come 2027 because we can't continue like this. Good morning, Victor Sule from VRM. And then this one's, good morning, Invicta. God bless you. Nigerians are not smiling with this Tinubu's administration. And then this one says, good morning, Oga Oluyi. I've been listening to your guest. It's clear that he's in bed with this administration of Tinubu's government. How can he say that the opposition are desperate for power? Was Tinubu not desperate? Good luck Ebele Jonathan was in government. People collected his money and voted against him. The opposition have always been saying daily what they will do differently.
Okay, and that will just be the size of it. On Perspectives today, Wisdom Tanko, thank you very much for putting us across to the people. And of course, we'd like to thank you all too for staying in with the program. We'll come back with Perspectives on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.
All the stations listen to Invicta 98.9 FM.
Mai gida, zo ka ji yadda jaririn ke motsi a cikina.
In ji? Lallai, da alama wannan na da ƙarfi sosai.
Mana, da wa kake gani zai yi kama?
Da ni mana.
A'a, da ni wannan zai yi kama.
To wanda zai zo bayan wannan zai yi kama da ke.
Tabɗi, to har yaushe zan jira